Guys, the last two undefeated teams both went down yesterday. Which team had the more shocking loss to you? Was it the Philadelphia Eagles or the San Francisco 49ers? Your takeaways? Let's start with you, Jay.
Yeah, it was really cool to see the Jets win that one. The first time they've ever beat the Eagles in their franchise's history. So it was awesome to see that, and obviously led by Zach Wilson. But I look at the Browns getting the upset over the 49ers, and you're going into this game, and P.J. Walker is getting the start for the Cleveland Browns. He hadn't started a game since November 10th of last year for the Panthers, and now he's walking out there to lead this team going against the best offense and the best defense in the 49ers. And I know they're on the road, and this Cleveland Browns defense going into this game have been unbelievable, and they just followed suit in that game. But watching it and watching what they were able to do to Brock Purdy on this offense for the 49ers, and then seeing P.J. Walker. He wasn't fantastic at all yesterday, but seeing them being able to make plays, whether it was Ford in the backfield, whether it was him throwing it up to Amari Cooper, you went in this game and you're like, the 49ers scoring 30 points in every single game. They just look unbelievable. And we talked about it. This Cleveland Browns defense was really good, but it's like, can they really go in there and win this game with P.J. Walker, a guy who hadn't started for them, was elevated off the practice squad.
He was in the Bears training camp this year. He was the number 2 behind Justin Fields. Yes. You remember? I mean, he was I'm not talking about 2 years ago. This season, he's with the Bears, and he's starting against what we thought was the best team in the league.
Yes, and threw an interception. It wasn't great, but found a way to win that game. It was so cool to see all of those guys celebrate at the end of that game. It meant a lot to them.
They got a penalty for celebrating so much after a missed field goal. You don't see that every day. No. The Jets social media guys and gals are having a moment. I don't know if you've been following the Jets. Like, they did the Will Smith meme, and it was like looking around for all the different teams that have beaten the Eagles this year in the empty room. Like,
really? I think Will Smith, I think the Oscars.
No, not this. There probably is one coming from that as well. Although
table.
Jada hasn't said a word about it this month.
It's a lot.
She hasn't done a lot about talking about that. The Jets are feeling themselves, but like, the Eagles had a million chances to win that game, and that's without Jalen Carter and without Darius Slay and without. I feel like the Eagles might have beaten themselves here in the second half. They were up the whole game. Very uncharacteristic turnovers from Jalen Hurts, and we talked about it. Like, it felt like something wasn't 100% right with the Eagles, and yet we were glossing over it because of the brotherly shove. They just could not get out of their own way in the second half of this game. And that's what's a little bit more concerning for me, because the Jets, this is a good story for the Jets. It's fun. Again, go check out their social media. It's not quite the Super Bowl, but it's something close, the way that they're responding. And I kind of like it. But for the Eagles, can you fix this stuff? Because you've got the Niners coming up. You've got the Cowboys twice. You've got the Dolphins coming up. Like, the Bills are coming up. The Eagles have a really tough schedule up ahead. And I look at it right here. Look at these 7 games. Like, hey, the Commanders are 3-3 and playing tough football right now. Cowboys twice, 49ers, Chiefs, you go into Arrowhead on a Monday night. Like,
storm is coming.
Storm is coming, no joke. So to me, I thought that you got to beat the Jets. You got to beat the Jets when the Jets are without Elijah Vera Tucker, Aaron Rodgers, DJ Reed, Sauce Gardner. You go on and on and on. You got to beat the Jets in that game, especially when you're up by double digits there at the end. But you know what? Jets get the win. They earned the win. The defense was great. Eagles, I'm left scratching my head, and I'm not saying they can't get it right and they can't get it on track. And Stacey, you made a great point to start the show, saying sometimes you need to get punched in the mouth a little bit just to kind of say, okay, where are we at? They should have won that game yesterday.
I mean, the Jets' social media after the Hackett thing with the Broncos was so good. They really wanted to
Shout out to Perry Mattern. That's the social media. Yeah,
Perry awesome.
Perry's on.
Usually, the Chargers have great social media, the Saints, the Falcons. I like that the Jets are getting into the game in this big of a market, too. I thought when Quinnen Williams got that ball, I'm like, there's no way they'll get Quinnen down. You know who brought him down was Jordan Mailata. I mean, he actually made the tackle. I think that's the only guy in the building or the state who might have been able to get Quinnen down. To me, this is a Jets story. And I'm going to go back a couple weeks when we were sitting here like the whole world was thinking like, all right, who can they get? Who can they get to? We can't go with Zach Wilson. We can't do it. And I just posed, I'm like, can they get a wild card? Is it possible? And I remember, Jason, you jumped me in, and you were right. And you were saying, oh, come on, that's not in the conversation. They're not going to get a wild card. And that's not a you thing. I think that's an everybody thing. They're 3-3. We're just sitting here at 500. Zach Wilson's thrown 1 interception in the last 4 games. I think they have to get to 10-7. So they got to go 7-4. And their defense is playing well. He's composed. But the coolest image, or the one that was like, oh, my God, from the game last night, bring it up. This is from the pregame. The pregame before. This is Rodgers not sitting there with a scooter or in the booth or on crutches. Dude, he's soft tossing. I don't know. I know that they're doing a wildly aggressive rehab on him, and he's attacking it like a maniac, but every athlete does that. Like, every athlete has access to the best resources and they have great genetics. I cannot believe we're sitting here and it's October, whatever it is, and he's on the field throwing. So if he's doing that now, the doctors can weigh in. Can he play this season? Can he play this regular season? Can he play in 2 months? Are we talking week 15, like Rodgers runs out again and they're like, this is the most miraculous recovery we've ever seen? Because that's a real football conversation. If they just tried water and they're 500 and Rodgers comes back, which I don't think is outside the possibility now, then they can get a wild card. The question is, can they get one without Rodgers, with the run game and with Brees and the defense? They're alive, Stacey.
They have Rodgers, though. I can't wait to hear when it's all said and done what he's doing behind the scenes with Zach Wilson.
It's true. It's true. I mean, we're going to hear all of it.
Like, it's the legend of Aaron Rodgers impacting Zach and this offense so much, they're going to actually morph into a really good offense.
He's playing pretty well.
Zach's been significantly better the 2 games that Rodgers has been there for him.
Right. So when I look at this, you want to keep it with Rodgers? I mean, who doesn't want to talk about Aaron Rodgers?
Sure.
I'll tell you this, I only heard one Taylor Swift reference yesterday.
Yeah, it was a throwaway by Sanchez.
Because Jason Kelce played in that game, so that was refreshing. I'm sure fans agree out there.
That's great. Travis was there. Yeah, he was on the sideline.
Yeah, so there was that reference. But listen, for me, it was not necessarily the San Francisco 49ers because they played the #1 total defense in the Cleveland Browns in football, and Jim Schwartz has Kyle Shanahan's number, as we saw. It's the Eagles only because we're still looking for their identity offensively. And what I mean when I say that is they had 80 rush yards in this game. Robert Saleh last week said, you guys, and by the way, the Jets came into this as the 29th ranked rushing defense in the National Football League. But he said, you know what? Every time I watch Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, it feels like they run for 1,000 yards a game, which wasn't the case. It was more, like between 160 to 170 per game, which was top 2 in the NFL, by the way. But the bottom line is they kept him to 80 rush yards. And that offensive line, I will tell you this, in Philadelphia, and you guys all know this, they are obsessed with running the football.
Yeah.
If that O-line, Mailata, Kelce, Dickerson, Johnson, if they can run the ball for you and whop 150 on you, they are, like, that chest is popping in the locker room. So I anticipate with this Jets team, you guys, they get back to running the football. And I'll just end with this. The Cowboys play tonight, right? Chargers on the road. I think they're going to do really well because that's the worst passing defense in football. And they got pummeled last week. Wake-up calls in the NFL are real. And I think you're going to come out a whole lot different. And there's no better quarterback in the NFL after, I think, a loss than Dak Prescott.
Is that right?